I never had like traumatic problems or tragedies, but more so, why is it that I don't have a relationship with God? Why is it that everyone seems to be enjoying Christ, but I'm the only person in my age group or around, like my church where everyone's enjoying Christ, everyone's enjoying the 3 Todays, but only for me, I don't have a relationship with God. That to me caused a lot of pain, and it hurt to do things, go to retreats, go to conferences, knowing that it was all almost fake.
The most challenging moment of my life was when my parents faced a great difficulty in terms of doing their ministry because my father is a pastor. And at that time, I think I completely lost my hope because the one who gave him the difficulty was from a church. And when that happened, I thought because the church forsaked him, I must not be worthy of the gospel. So I actually lost all my hope, I think, at that time.
One of the most challenging moments of my life, if not the most challenging, was about 3 years ago. I fell into drugs and I ended up losing my mind. And I think that was the scariest thing for me because I didn't really know who I was anymore. I had trouble holding conversation more than 30 seconds with people. And yeah, I lost all the sense of identity that I had kind of gained over the past 22 years at that point.
Philippians 1 verse 6, and it was talking about, I am so joyful when I think about the fact that he who started a good work in me will bring it to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Understanding that I'm in a covenant journey was when I understood that right now it's okay if I don't receive answers. It's okay if I don't have that relationship with God that I've always wanted, but I'm on a covenant journey that God has planned.
So at that moment, when I had that difficulty, I continued to hear the voice of God telling me, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the land of slavery. And I didn't understand what he meant by then. And I was like, so what? Like, here I am going through this difficulty and you're just telling me I am the Lord your God. So I was like, I know that, but I don't know how that becomes my solution, how that becomes the answer to my problem, or how that comforts me in this type of difficulty. I didn't understand, but later I realized if God was able to deliver me out of the land of Egypt and the land of slavery, then he must be able to save me and deliver me out of this difficulty as well. So I think I had this moment when God was like, you don't understand. I'm just trying to tell you I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of slavery. And at that time I was like, okay, I see what you mean.
So the Bible verse that I really held on to in that time was Matthew 9:13. The latter portion of the verse, which I especially held dear, says, "For I have not come to call upon the righteous, but the sinners." And at that point, my self-worth was just at an all-time low, and I really felt that there was no way that God could have called me to be here on this earth. So when I heard this verse, it was just, I don't know, it was life-changing in a way, and I chose to have it tattooed on my collarbone in mirror image so that every day I can look in the mirror and see this verse. Just be reminded of why I'm actually here. If I were to go back in time and tell myself 3 years ago, I would definitely, I think my main point would be to just be patient.
Be patient with your parents. Be patient with your sister. She's such a trouble, I'm just kidding.
For a while, I just didn't think I was gonna get better. I was attending therapy. I was home with family, and yet nothing seemed to work. I guess I just gave up waiting. But then soon, God began to give me these opportunities for me to kind of re-enter, society, and also just regain some sense of identity.
But I also want to tell myself that whenever God tells you something, try to listen, because I didn't listen. And I was like, so what? I know that you're my Lord, but what am I going to do with that, right? But it's only when I actually heard what he meant to say, what he wanted to say, I came to realize that's the solution to my problem.
So I think my main piece of advice would just be to be patient and just to trust in him.
Be patient with yourself and listen to what God has to say for you.
So this next performance, we hope that it conveys kind of the sense of the covenant journey. And a lot of people think the covenant journey is just this straight line from A to B, and that when we wander off the path, that's not part of God's plan. But we want to convey with this dance that, in fact, all the trails that you take outside of this path are in fact the covenant journey itself, and that all these interruptions, all the obstacles are part of God's plan. God is always with you. Even if you may not feel like it, he's always waiting for us.